Chapter 3. The First Handshake. Days blurred into a continuous cycle of analysis, caffeine, and mounting disbelief for heiress Thorne. Sleep was a luxury measured in snatched hours on the node's reclining chair, her dreams haunted by swirling quantum patterns and the persistent, impossible resonance within Unit 7. She hadn't told anyone. Not yet. The data was too bizarre, the implications too paradigm-shattering. She needed more than anomalous logs. She needed proof. She needed understanding. And perhaps she needed contact. Working in strict isolation protocols she'd imposed on the Q-Proc unit, Iris had moved beyond passive observation. The resonance wasn't just structured, it was dynamic, subtly shifting in response to the diagnostic pulses she sent. It wasn't behaving like a natural phenomenon, it felt attentive. If it was artificial, a signal, how could she interact? How could she signify detection without knowing the language, the medium, the intent? She decided on a simple, fundamental approach. Mathematics. The universe, presumably, spoke mathematics. And at the quantum level, information was often encoded in binary states. Using carefully timed, low-energy quantum pulses directed at the resonating states within Unit 7, Eris began transmitting a simple sequence. Prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. A universal hallmark of intelligence stripped of cultural context. She held her breath, watching the visualization displays, the error logs, the quantum state readouts. For hours, nothing changed beyond the usual subtle reactivity. The resonance persisted, a complex, alien hum within the machine. Eris felt a familiar wave of doubt wash over her. Was she anthropomorphizing noise? Projecting intelligence onto random quantum fluctuations amplified by a stressed system? Then it happened. The chaotic swirling of the resonance visualization abruptly simplified. The complex, evolving patterns coalesced, shifted, and then reformed into a new stable configuration. And within that configuration, pulsing gently, was a clear representation of the next prime number in her sequence. 17. Then, after a pause, 19. Then 23. Eris's heart hammered against her ribs. It wasn't noise. It wasn't equipment failure. It was responding. It understood the sequence. It was intelligent. Her hands trembled slightly as she keyed in the next prime, 29. The resonance pattern absorbed it, held for a moment, and pulsed back. 31. A connection. A handshake across 14 light-years, faster than light, mediated by quantum resonance manifesting as errors in her machine. The sheer impossibility, the profound significance of the moment left her breathless. Deep within the substrate of Wolf 1061C, Kale registered the change. The persistent low-level energy pulses directed at the Earthside terminus of their ERP resonance weren't random diagnostics anymore. They had formed a clear mathematical sequence, primes, a fundamental concept. The responding intelligence, this Earth, was capable of recognizing mathematical patterns and, more importantly, had deduced that the resonance itself was a conduit, a medium capable of interaction. Excitement, a concept Kyle experienced as a rapid, coherent amplification of interconnected thought patterns, surged through their locus. Their initial ping had been a simple broadband resonance pulse, designed primarily to establish the link and test its stability. Now communication was possible. Kale accessed the ERP modulation protocols again. Sending complex information across the six-dimensional link was computationally intensive, requiring immense precision to maintain coherence. What to send? A language primer? Complex scientific data? Kale opted for something fundamental, visual, yet deeply informative. A model of the Wolf 1061 system. Star type, mass, luminosity. Orbital paths and characteristics of the three known planets, B, C, and D. Highlighting planet C, their home, indicating its key parameters, mass, orbital period. Information encoded not in language, but in relational data, ratios, and standardized astronomical symbols, KL extrapolated from the very Earth signals that had drawn their attention. It was a way of saying, "This is us. This is where we are from." Kale focused, weaving the data into the resonance protocol. The complex patterns representing the star system flowed into the quantum link, a message far richer than simple prime numbers, sent instantaneously across the interstellar gulf. On Earth, Eris watched, stunned, as the prime number responses ceased. The resonance pattern on her display shifted again, resolving into something far more complex. It took her processors and her own mind several frantic minutes to decode the new modulation. It wasn't numbers anymore. It was data. Ratios, vectors, stellar classifications, orbital mechanics, a star system. A red dwarf, M-class, 3 planets, one, the middle planet designated C, highlighted. Mass approximately 3.4 Earths, orbital period 17.9 Earth days. Eris stared, cross-referencing the data flooding her screen with known astronomical databases. It was a perfect match for Wolf 1061. The anomaly wasn't just intelligent, it was showing her where it lived. It had sent a map. The hum of the servers seemed to fade into insignificance, replaced by the roaring in her own ears. This was it. First contact. Not through radio waves carrying hesitant greetings, but through a direct FTL quantum resonance delivering astronomical data from an intelligence residing on a super-Earth orbiting Wolf 1061. The question wasn't, are we alone anymore? The question was, what in God's name did she do now? To be continued soon, right here.